Jose, it's a question that we've tackled in this very space. Is Raúl Jiménez elite? And for whatever reason, this week it is the topic du jour. And there are two sides to every good debate. Let's hear them both. Luis Garcia, former Mexican international, had this to say. He isn't Lewandowski, Luis Suarez, Agüero, Benzema. Jiménez, who is Mexico's top exponent, can't sit at the same table as those number nines. He continued. Benzema is 20 times more than Jiménez. Raúl took 6 years to make that small jump to mid-table team like Wolves. He is the top star at that club, and it's there where he belongs, not at teams like Real Madrid or Barcelona. Of course, there's another side. Our old friend Pedro Caixinha, ex of Santos Cruz Azul, said he will leave Wolves to take another step up and continue on with his ambitions. It is what I would like to see from other Mexican players who have a lot of quality. All right, we've heard Alejandro weigh in on this, Craig Burley weigh in on this. Herc, I know your opinion a million times over on this and other things. Jose, whose team are you on here? Caixinha or Luis Garcia?
Luis Garcia. What Luis Garcia just said, I've been saying it for a few months actually. And since I'm from Central America, people would say, oh, you're anti-Mexican. So I'm glad Luis Garcia thinks the same way I do. First of all, I want to acknowledge that Raúl Alonso Jiménez is having a great season. By far, as we speak, he's the best Mexican player abroad. But he's 29 years old. He reached the peak of his talent a little bit too late. Real Madrid, Barcelona, they're trying to sign the next big player, like Haaland, 19 years old, Lautaro Martinez, 22 years old. Raúl Alonso Jiménez is 29. And then you look at the other Premier League clubs. Would you trade Agüero or Gabriel Jesus for Raúl Alonso Jiménez? No. Would you trade Firmino for Raúl Alonso Jiménez? No. Harry Kane, James Vardy, and Tammy Abraham from Chelsea, 22 years old. He has a great potential. So I think the age doesn't help Raúl Alonso Jiménez.
Herc, what do you think? You agree with Jose? I think in this very space, when we first brought this up, you started comparing Jimenez to Luis Suarez. You said he should be at Barcelona.
Whoa, he said that?
He said that, Jose. Imagínate.
No.
Now we're going to change the
Alex
story.
Pareja, our colleague at Deportes, mentioned him. And I think Craig Burley had mentioned it before, how the skill set matches. And then we said, you know what? The skill set's not too far off. But there's only one Luis Suarez. There's only one Lewandowski. There's only one Karim Benzema. The list goes on and on and on, Harry Kane. Of these elite strikers, he's not sitting alongside them, but he's also not a bad option if you can't get this type of player. We mentioned him for United. If they can't get Harry Kane, he could be an option. But Jose's right about the age. It plays against him. He's 29 years old. At 29 years old, you should be a finished product, and you should already be this Harry Kane, this Lewandowski, this Luis Suarez type, and he's not there yet. He's had 2 good seasons under his belt in Europe, if you really think about it. And I would say probably a season and a half, if you really think about it. At Benfica, didn't go his way. Maybe the way he would have wanted to. Atletico, he never got a fair shake. Well, at Wolverhampton, under this system, with that coach, he's the man. Things are going his way. But if you're a big team, one of these big teams where these big forwards sit at that table, like Luis Garcia just said, you're looking for a finished product or somebody you can develop, somebody with more of an upside. And Raúl Jiménez at 29 years of age may have just missed that boat. Listen, Gabriel Jesus or Raúl Jiménez, I'm taking Raúl Jiménez any day of the week right now because of the way he plays. But if you're talking about a Kun Agüero who's at that elite level, no, I go Kun.
Oh, I saw that face, Jose. What are you going to say?
Whoa, Herculez, I can't believe you just said that. You would take Raúl Alonso Jiménez over Gabriel Jesus, someone who has to compete with Firmino to play in the Brazilian national team. Raúl Alonso Jiménez only has to be Chicharito to be the starter in Mexico.
But we're not talking about playing in the Mexican national team.
Gabriel Jesus,
soccer. We're talking about playing at the world's level club soccer.
But Gabriel Jesus is younger. He's shown he can be a proven striker.
When he hasn't been
he hasn't shown he's a proven striker.
No.
Come on, you guys. He's not a starter because he competes with Kun Agüero, one of the great nines that we have seen in the last few years.
That's fine. But we're talking about the skill set you need to have to be that number 9 of an elite team. If you look at just the bag, the tools, Raúl Jiménez has more of it than Gabriel Jesus. He's more capable of playing that 9 role. He's exactly a carbon copy of Firmino to me. He's got the skill set to join in the attack, to assist, facilitate, to finish things off. Gabriel Jesus doesn't really have that skill set. That's why more often than not we see him coming off the bench. And I understand, Agüero's up there with the best 9s in Premier League history. No doubt. He's a great 9. But right now, I think if you ask the majority of those big teams, who would you rather have to start a game? I think a lot of them would say Raúl Jiménez.
No, I want to add something else. We haven't seen the best of Gabriel Jesus. Raúl Alonso Jiménez, this is it. I don't see him improving. He's 29 years old. Gabriel Jesus has a lot of potential. Ask Pep Guardiola, who would he take, Gabriel Jesus or Raúl Alonso Jiménez?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I don't know about us seeing the best of Raúl Jiménez because after last season, we were like, oh, this is probably as good as it's going to get. And he even did better. I think this is why he has those big teams knocking on the door. Will he go? Probably not, because Jose mentioned earlier in this segment the most important factor is the upside with the age and the price. Listen, for whatever reason, and we know the reason, these North American players are so overpriced, so overvalued. Does it really make sense for a team to spend that much? Wolverhampton spent over $40 million for him. I think he's their most expensive transfer ever. If they're going to sell him, it has to be worth it. Are these teams really going to shell out that kind of cash for a player that's unproven at the, I guess, world's level? He only has less than 2 full seasons at it. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, and Mexico needs to improve on something, player development. Raúl Alonso Jiménez had his chance in a top club, Atletico de Madrid, 6 years ago, but he wasn't ready for prime time. That transition didn't help him. He didn't adapt right away to the style of La Liga. And let's face it, the style of Atletico de Madrid didn't help him either, a defensive-minded team. But Mexico needs to help his players so when they get these opportunities, they can make the most out of it. Raúl Alonso Jiménez needed 5 years in Europe to actually show us what he can do.
Is Raúl Jiménez elite? Herc, you'll get a kick out of this. It's the new is Joe Flacco elite debate.
Got a Super Bowl.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.